Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are doing something incredibly exciting. We're taking the absolute best core lessons from 40 of the most impactful financial books ever written, and we're condensing the whole shebang into a clear, gamified roadmap. Think of it like your own personal wealth staircase. We're going to break down the exact step-by-step process to take you from absolute zero all the way to tens of millions, totally demystifying the journey as we go.
Okay, let's dive into this with a question that might just rethink everything you know about wealth. Seriously, picture this. Would you rather have $3 million handed to you right this second, or a single penny that doubles every single day for 31 days? Keep your answer locked in your head, because what we cover today is going to totally challenge your instincts and reshape how you view money, time, and success.
Here is a quick look at our wealth staircase. We start with Step 1, reprogramming your wealth mindset. Then Step 2, high-value skills and investing. Next, we climb to Step 3, the millionaire shift. And finally, Step 4, scaling up.
All right, let's kick things off with Step 1, reprogramming your wealth mindset. This is Level 1, navigating from zero to your first 100 grand.
To actually reach that first 100,000, you've got to totally break the mental conditioning that tells you to play it safe. There's this amazing story in the classic book Think and Grow Rich about a military commander who is facing a massively superior enemy. To guarantee his soldiers would fight with absolutely everything they had, he did the unthinkable. He literally burned his own ships. Basically, he left them with absolutely no escape plan. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference between kinda wanting to succeed and creating a scenario where you absolutely need to. Sometimes, having a comfortable, safe fallback plan is actually the biggest roadblock to building your wealth.
And you know, that comfort, it often traps us in what the book Unscripted calls becoming a model citizen. That stands for mediocre, obedient, dependent, entertained, and lifeless. Yikes, right? It's essentially a matrix designed to keep you just spinning your wheels. So how on earth do you escape? By focusing strictly on the daily process, not just obsessing over the end goal. If you use techniques like habit stacking from Atomic Habits, which is where you literally attach a new productive habit right on top of something you already do every day, you can systematically break out of this trap and build the momentum you actually need.
Moving right along to Step 2, high-value skills and investing. We're still working our way through Level 1 here.
A lot of people are given the advice to just follow their passion. But honestly, passion usually follows the mastery of a high-value skill. Once you get insanely good at something, you naturally start to love it. So the crucial point is that to survive and thrive, especially in a modern world where AI is rapidly taking over basic jobs, you must lean into your natural strengths. You need to take those strengths and combine them into a unique skill stack. When you merge 3 or 4 different skills that you're naturally good at, you become a total original. You become literally impossible for a machine, or anyone else for that matter, to perfectly replicate. And hey, speaking of math and the modern economy, let's circle back to that opening question. If you chose the doubling penny, nailed it. You made the right call. Thanks to the sheer power of compound interest, which is the whole premise of the compound effect, that single lonely penny turns into a staggering $10.7 million in just 31 days. That is the literal compounding power of consistent investing overtaking a quick, flashy lump sum. But listen, you have to invest that money smartly. Trying to actively pick stocks to beat the market is generally a losing game for most of us. Just look at this. When comparing broad index funds to actively managed mutual funds over a 35-year period, only 1% of mutual funds could actually beat the market by 2%, just 1%. This is exactly why owning the entire market through broad index funds is a much safer, vastly smarter bet for building long-term wealth than trusting some guy in a suit trying to beat the odds.
Now, if you do decide to invest in individual companies, you absolutely must understand the concept of Mr. Market from The Intelligent Investor. Imagine the stock market as a deeply irrational, overly emotional guy who comes knocking on your door every day. One day, Mr. Market enthusiastically offers you $2,000 for your shares. The very next day, he panics and offers you only $500, even if the actual company hasn't changed one bit. The price is based purely on human emotion and demand, not real-world value. You should only be buying if you are prepared to completely tune out Mr. Market's daily noise. All right, Step 3, the millionaire shift. We are officially leveling up to Level 2, taking you from 100 grand up to $1 million. Leveling up here requires a fundamental mental shift. You can no longer just be an employee trading your precious hours for dollars. You have to totally redefine what it means to be rich, stepping into the role of a business owner. Let's compare absolute income to relative income. A banker making $500,000 a year looks incredibly wealthy on paper, right? But if they're grinding 80 hours a week, they're only earning about $120 an hour and they have absolutely zero free time. Now compare that to an entrepreneur earning just $40,000 a year, but thanks to solid automation and systems, they only work 4 hours a week. That entrepreneur is effectively making $200 an hour, plus they have complete location and time independence. True wealth requires time freedom, no exceptions.
So to become that entrepreneur, you obviously need a solid idea. The best businesses out there, think Netflix or Airbnb. They started by betting on a contrarian truth. That's something you deeply believe that the rest of the world thinks is absolutely crazy. Mike, say letting total strangers sleep in your spare bedroom. If you're struggling to come up with ideas, here's a really cool, highly practical exercise. Simply write down 3 things that annoy you every single day. By the end of the month, you're going to have 90 unique business ideas rooted in solving actual, real-world human friction.
And this brilliantly illustrates where you should take those ideas once you have them. A massive study of 108 businesses revealed that those fighting in what they call red oceans, which are markets just filled with fierce, bloody competition, they only captured 39% of the total profits. But the businesses that created blue oceans, entirely new, wide-open markets with little to no competition, they captured a massive 61% of the profits. You want to create a scarce, highly desired product in a blue ocean where you are oversubscribed, meaning you literally have way more demand than you can even supply.
Finally, step 4, scaling up. Welcome to level 3, where we are looking at $1 million to $10 million and way beyond.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because at this stage, your focus shifts entirely away from solo work. To hit these astronomical numbers, your success depends entirely on leadership and negotiation. And to lead or sell effectively at a massive scale, you need to understand how human beings actually process information. The book, Pitch Anything, outlines 3 brains: the primitive croc brain, the midbrain, and the logical neocortex. Now, most people try to sell facts and logic straight to the neocortex, but here's the catch. All information filters through that primitive croc brain first. If your message isn't simple, highly emotional, and instantly valuable, the croc brain just tosses it out. Your logic never even gets heard.
And that leads us perfectly into tactical empathy, a concept that is absolutely crucial for high-level leadership. Tactical empathy means proactively empathizing with someone else's situation and their emotions specifically to get them to lower their guard and empathize with yours. When you master this, you don't just win negotiations, you build insanely deep loyalty. And this loyalty ties directly into a core rule of power, making sure people remain dependent on your vision, ensuring you stay completely irreplaceable as the leader of your organization.
But hey, great leadership isn't just about managing people. It's about building unbreakable systems. The book The E-Myth points out a really common, fatal flaw in business. Just because you know how to bake a great cake does not mean you know how to run a successful bakery. To survive, you have to structure your math properly from day one. Most businesses do sales minus expenses equals profit, right? Which basically leaves profit as an afterthought. You got to flip this to the profit-first formula. Sales minus profit equals expenses. You secure your profit immediately, right off the top, and you force your business to run purely on whatever is left over.
Now, as you scale way past that $10 million mark, your view of the board really needs to widen. Eventually, you'll need to understand macroeconomics and shifting world orders, kind of like the concept from the fourth turning. This theory suggests that history moves in these 25-year blocks: a high, an awakening, an unraveling, and finally a crisis. These massive global shifts drastically impact markets. But remember, worrying about these huge geopolitical trends is truly only useful after you've secured your own wealth and actually have the capital to navigate or influence them. Focus on your own stairs first.
Which brings us to one final, ultimate question for you to chew on today. As you climb your own personal wealth staircase, look really closely at what you are building. Are you creating a true business system that serves you, generates relative income, and actually buys back your time? Or, if you're being honest, are you just creating another highly demanding job for yourself? The difference between those two things is exactly the difference between just being rich and being truly undeniably wealthy.